Sir, what you had there was what we refer to as a focused non-terminal repeating phantasm, or Class 5 full roaming vapor. A real nasty one, too. Here's your look at the Weta Workshop, Mini Epics, Ghostbusters, Raised Stantz. From Weta Workshop, the Ghostbusters Mini Epics are high-end vinyl figures that have been digitally sculpted by 3D artist Muro Santini. Ray is making actual physical contact. Our mini epic has arrived on the slimy scene. First, for Ray, how about we compare him with some of the other mini epic Ghostbuster collectibles we've looked at thus far. Starting first, we'll bring in Peter Venkman. And then just recently, we also had a look at Slimer. Now, while you ain't afraid of no ghost, you may be afraid, though, of the price point that goes along with these mini epics. If you could believe, Ray's Stantz, as well as the other two on either side of him, were $41.99 here, at least in local Canadian comic book stores. It's not that much better, though, when you're finding these online. I think the price point for these were around $38, so they are a little more of that premium collector price point. A deal breaker for some, but if you don't mind the price of what these things are going for, they're kind of nice-looking Ghostbuster collectibles to be putting on display. Speaking of display, though, Raised Stantz happens to come included with a display stand, which is a bit strange, really, because Peter Venkman didn't come included with one. It's a clear acrylic display stand with two pegs, as you can see on the top, that will fit to the bottom of the figure's feet. Before I actually do that, though, there's no magic or anything, no ghouls that I'm aware of holding Ray up. He actually stands really fine on his own. So yeah, you could use a display stand if you want to. This literally just lines up, just line the holes up to the feet, slide them into place, and you've got yourself a display stand. The only downside, though, is if every Ghostbuster that you do have, you attach to the display stand, that you're not going to be able to put them too close for a group shot. Again, the figure stands fine on his own. I really don't think he needed to have a display stand in the first place, but that's something that they included, at least for Ray. Even though Peter didn't come included one, we'll check to see if Egon and Winston do come included with display stands, because this is the first for me. Getting a closer look, though, at Ray stands, I really, really like this one. I actually like this one more than I like the Peter Venkman. For the obvious then comparisons, we can move over Ray's Stantz, bring then in the Peter Venkman that we looked at before. And while both of them are good, I think Ray's Stantz definitely has the more better caricature of actor Dan Aykroyd. Now in this case, as you can see, he's wearing the Ecto goggles. They are wearing similar, though, suits. Slightly different by the fact, of course, Peter Venkman doesn't like to have it doesn't like to have the bottoms of his pant legs tucked in. But you can see they're more lankier looking characters. Really, really nicely designed as well. We'll actually keep Peter here for the time being. There's a little hair right here stuck in between. I think it came actually out of the packaging like that. There's like a little fiber in between his hand and the Ecto goggle. I'm going to see if I can fish that out maybe later. But I do like the fact that they gave him the Ecto goggles as opposed to just giving him the regular head sculpt. They could have even done one better and released this guy down the road as an exclusive with the goggles actually down over top of his eyes. But I think, though, that's a really good looking likeness of Ray Stantz. And as you can see as well, if you don't know the name of the character, Stantz printed nicely there in the front patch of his jumpsuit, similar to Peter Venkman, also there as well. The proton packs are also differently placed here on the figures, because if you spin them around, Peter Venkman obviously already has a neutrino wand in his hand, and off the proton pack on the back, whereas as you can see, Ray Stantz still has the proton wand attached, neutrino wand attached to the proton pack. The proton packs seem very similar to one another. I don't think they've probably changed too much here, and then simply just have the wand removed from one of them. The stickers are nicely applied, as you can see there on the side, the little warning stickers. So small, in fact, the font, and yet I think you can actually still make that out. At least I hope you can still make that out. The coloring on the wires is nice. You got the rainbow wire on the side that attaches to the main bottom body area of the proton pack, and then you've got a couple of little roaming wires on the sides there as well. The neat thing, though, about Ray Stantz, we just spin this to the side so you can see, and certainly from the front as well, is that Ray Stantz is also packing a trap. Now, I don't think the trap has actually been used. It could be the case that he's not yet thrown it. It does have the little pedal there, as well as the cord that attaches the pedal to the back of the ghost trap. It would be neat, actually, if they had sculpted it similar to Slimer. I'm going to bring back in Slimer so you can see. Remember his display stand was sort of that slimy bottom base? How cool would that have also been that they would have made like a smoke entrail coming out the top of the trap? And they could have succeeded in doing that by using that clear plastic that they use for Slimer's base, but maybe done that in like a blue or a purple, I think would have been a nice touch as well. But there doesn't seem to be any lights on the trap, so I'm going to assume that he hasn't actually thrown it yet. He has the hose that attaches the leg to, of course, the back section of his jumpsuit. It's a really, really nice looking figure. Of course, they don't have any posability going for them. Where they're real pro, I think, the positive points of these figures is the fact they're sort of super stylized, kind of caricatures of the characters from the Ghostbusters film. Because of that, they don't have any posability, you can't move the heads or anything like that. But they are quite nicely painted, too. Even right down to the fact that they have the little ghost patch, the no-ghost patch, on the side of their shoulder. And again, when you do have these guys displayed, it's a little strange right now only to be seeing 2 of these. But I guess you can kind of overlap these. You can have Peter in the back. You can have, maybe Ray in the background like that. And eventually it's going to look a lot better than when we fill the rest of the crew out. Egon, Winston, Zedmore, and then you can have all the 4 Ghostbusters. They have also released the Slimer, which obviously we can bring back in here so you can see. And they also have released the Terror Dog. The Terror Dog I have also picked up, and I'm kind of chomping at the bit, to be honest, to have a look at it next, because it's probably my favorite of the ones that we're going to be looking at here from the mini epics from Weta Workshop. I like these figures, but again, I can't overlook the fact that the price point on these is high. I don't want to say that I would diminish the value of the work that they've put into this, and of course the cost of producing these and the fact that they're not widely circulated to like your regular retail stores. These are kind of localized to specialty stores and online only. So of course the production run of these are going to be a lot less. That's why they have to be a little bit more expensive. I kind of wish that these would have been closer to being that $20 to $25 sweet spot price point. I mean, you're almost paying double that for these figures. At the end of the day, they're actually nice looking collectibles. I just kind of, again, wish that they weren't as expensive. But really, really nice looking figures. Ray Stantz, so far, of the Ghostbusters, is my favorite. Of course, we still have to look at Winston Zedmore, and we also have a look at, still, Egon Spangler. Despite for the rather awkward looking pose they put Ray in. I guess they've done it more so because he's kind of more shocked at something that he's looking at. And of course the weight of the proton pack is kind of pulling him back like this. Despite also for the fact he comes included with a display stand. You'll see no display stand anywhere at all making an appearance here in Final Looks. Figure doesn't even need one. Peter Venkman never needed a display stand, but that figure never really had a display stand anyways. I can get Ray to stand fine on his own. And a lot of it could be contributed to the fact that both Ray and Peter also have really large feet. And it looks to be the case across the board as well. The Egon and the Winston Zedmore also have really large feet. I don't think they really need to have display stands in the first place. And especially if you're really planning to have these collectibles close together, have them as a group displayed on your shelf, for example, I really think like a clear stand is going to get in the way of things. So thank goodness you really don't need one, and I'm not going to display Ray with the stand anyways. Now, it certainly goes as it goes for figures. Ray is my favorite so far. I like the look of the Egon, but I think Ray might be my favorite of the 4 figures. And then, of course, there's Zuul, which I almost considered getting a second one of the Zuuls because we only get, as far as I know, 1 Terror Dog. I'm going to talk more about that when we have a look at the Terror Dog. Believe you me, when you see the Terror Dog, you may want to pick it up for yourself, as well as picking up a second one. Although we don't have a Gozer yet. Gozer would certainly be fun to have displayed in the center. Maybe they may release it as another wave. This second wave, if you would consider it a second wave, number 5 figures, Ray Stantz, number 6, Winston Zedmore, number 7, Zuul. And I think it's stopped it there. I don't think they've actually made any others after that. Price point being high as it is, still would be happy to see them release other figures like a Dana Barrett, Louis Tully, maybe even have both of them possessed and then release another Terror Dog with the slightly shorter horns. Done. That's all we need. And I guess you could say, no, I don't want to say Marshmallow Man. There's no way you'd scale that properly. It would be way too big. And you can imagine the price of what that guy would be going for anyways. What do you guys think of the mini epics from Weta Workshop? A little higher on the price, yes, but overall nice looking collectibles. I especially, again, really like the Ray Stantz here. If you guys are new to this channel, hello there. Come on in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Didn't mean to startle you. I'm sorry. I kind of caught you off guard. I know you were sort of standing by the snack table. Hear me. Here I am just shouting across the room. Hey, you over there. But yes, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure as well you're turning on the bell notification. Make sure, yes, you're coming back to this channel because we will still be looking at Check Egon, yes. What's a Zedmore? Check, yes. And we also will be looking at Zool the Terror Dog. Lots of stuff coming your way. So as always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.